Hi everyone, my name is Dana and I am here on behalf of Love Sola Flowers, and I'm here in New Jersey. Actually, it was snowing today, but this is supposedly the last day of winter and tomorrow I guess is the first day of spring. But our warehouse is in California. I'm thinking they probably didn't have snow today, but it is cold here in New Jersey. But here we are with the tutorial and looking forward to spring starting, and we can make this flower look pretty for our spring wildflower arrangements. And it's an iris. And if you didn't catch our last video that we did last week, we made the iris. So sometimes, you know, we try to carry as many flowers as possible, and we try to carry as many flowers as possible that look like real flowers. But hey everyone, but the thing is that not every single flower is made in Sola. Not every single flower is made in bulk in Sola. And so sometimes we have to get creative with how to have the flowers that we really want and need with maybe some of the flowers that we already have. So that's what we did last week. So we did turn a closed peony into an iris, and I'll hold it up close in a second to show you what we did. But if you didn't catch that video and you're wondering, wow, they started carrying irises. Hey, Tracy. We did not. We just made them out of something that we already carry. So the iris is made out of the closed peony. So if you have any of those at home, you can watch the video tonight if you haven't and make some of those. But we're painting them because we couldn't paint them when we made them because we want them to be dried. So if you are going to watch the video and make them, you can't paint them on the same night because the paint will kind of leak all over the place if they are wet. So just go make those, give it a couple days before you paint them, or a day. If you put it in front of the fan, all you need is a day. Yeah, so our website is lovesolaflowers.com, and we are running a sale right now up to 60% off. Hi, Treasure. And you will see all the discounted prices right there on there, and you don't need any coupon codes or anything. So if you do have an account, make sure you log in. And if you don't have an account, make sure you sign up for one, because what you can do when you have an account is see all your tracking numbers and orders right there once you log in, and you'll have all your information without having to wait for an email or anything like that. But we are going to be painting our irises today, and that is going to be fun because they're pretty white, because I think someone had told me that irises do come in white, but once they have color, they really do come to life. So again, this was the iris that we made. As you can see, we used, again, a closed peony in order to make this, and we are going to paint this as a purple iris tonight, and I'm going to show you that real quick. When we made our flower, we used the glycerin in our mixture to form the petals. So I'm not having any glycerin in my paint mixture tonight. So if you do hear scratching, that's my cat trying to get in the room, but sorry if that's bothersome. I don't know if it's loud on your end, but hopefully we'll get through this video without her panicking. So I'm gonna start with a yellow. I do use Bear Brand paints. I use the satin, and this color is called Soft Boiled. So we're going to be using a yellow for the centers of the outside petals. This is the color I'm using, and the purple, let me see if I have the lid. I thought I had the lid with me. I think it's called like a Fairy Tale or something like that. I can get that paint color for you. I forgot where I put the lid because I already mixed the paint. But again, my paint right now, my purple, I poured it in this little cup, and I put just a drop of water in it. I didn't want it very watered down, because then it's going to leak everywhere, and we don't want that to happen. And my yellow, I'm not watering down at all, okay? So this is just straight up paint. Now, for my yellow, I want a thin paintbrush top, but kind of firm, okay? I don't want it to be fluffy. And then for the purple, it really doesn't matter what kind of paintbrush you use for the purple. So I'm gonna get started here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the outside petals, because the outside petals are the ones that will have yellow in them. The inside petals will be all purple. So we just need yellow in one spot. We do have to be careful that we're not gonna run our colors into each other. So again, that's why we don't want it too watered down. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna bend our petal back a little bit. Thanks, Christy. And I'm gonna start at the center, and basically I'm gonna kind of make an elongated triangle. So it's going to be thicker at the bottom, and it's going to go to a point here. Sorry about the cats. I have cats, and sometimes they wait just until the moment that I need them to be nice to be bad. So if that's really bothersome, I really apologize. So I'm going again. I'm gonna put my brush down here. Oh, no problem, Susan. And again, I'm gonna start here, and I'm going to come to a point, kind of like a triangle, like a rounded off triangle a little bit. And again, this is not watered down at all. And irises come in different colors. I did like a basic purple iris. I had in our group, I had posted kind of the irises that we're going for. There's different styles of irises. Some have like the really like loop petal. You know what I'm saying? Like it goes wavy and crazy kind of. But this one, the one I was kind of copying, was kind of easier to mimic, obviously, in what we have. So for sure they'll be recognizable as irises, especially if you're painting them. And again, I'm just starting the yellow, and then I'm gonna go into a point, kind of like an egg, but a little bit pointier at the top, like an egg shaped. And that's gonna be that. Okay, so again, I had already had glycerin when I had made the iris. So I'm not having any glycerin in this paint now. So I have done the outside petals, and now I'm gonna do the purple. Now, it's kind of important which order you do the petals in so that it doesn't run into your yellow. But what we're gonna do is those outside petals, and we're going to go basically around the yellow from the center and pull it on out, avoiding, obviously, the yellow. And gonna make sure that it doesn't run. Now, if your paint is too wet, it's gonna bleed too much into your yellow. So you're not really wanting to have it bleed. Even if you wanted to do straight up paint, you could do that. But I like, it's like it takes a little bit more work when it's straight up paint, because the blending is a little bit more difficult. So I do like to add a little water, even if I don't want it to bleed, but it's not a lot of water. It's just a little drip. Okay, so I'm gonna hold the petal up close to the camera as soon as I'm done. But I want to basically trace around the yellow. It doesn't need to be perfect, because even on the iris, sometimes there's a little gap between the yellow and the purple that's white, sometimes not. I feel like this could be a similar way to make a crocus. We used to have crocuses all the time. That's how we knew spring was coming in our backyard growing up, little purple crocuses. And I feel like you could probably use a closed peony to make those as well. So let me just show you the petal. Ooh. Okay. Now I want to try to not hold it so much where I'm letting it drip into the center, the purple. So again, I'm going to go around the yellow, and we're going to just pull it to the outside. And I got to kind of stick my finger in there a little bit. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna finish these 3 outer petals. Then we're gonna do the inside petals. And on this video, I'm not gonna be able to do the back side, this side, because it really needs to dry really well. But you'll get the point once I show you how we're gonna paint the rest of it, how you would just finish that up. I'll show it how you would, but I don't want it to be, well, maybe it'll dry enough by that time. We'll see. Because we don't want our paint, again, we don't want our purple running so far all over the yellow that we lose that shape of what the yellow is. Okay, so again, I'm just putting this in. For anybody who just popped on, we are still having our sale on lovesolaflowers.com. And we do announce these videos in our group. Our group is facebook.com/groups/lovesolaflowers. And we are painting our irises that we made last week. So if you didn't catch the video where we made them, then jump up on there. We love to hear creative ideas that you guys have too. If you ever can think of a flower maybe we don't carry and how we can turn one of the ones we carry into what we need, we'd love to hear that. Sometimes, you know, you got to get creative with products. Not everything can be made on like a bulk scale. So sometimes getting certain flowers is not kind of possible for us, but we are always so creative with these kind of things that you just got to think about some of this stuff a little bit. So, and we have some things like that in the past we did videos of like how to turn a large hydrangea into a lilac. So we've done lilacs before. We've done this before. This isn't the first. Yes, we did, Christy. We got snow. This isn't the first flower we turned into something else. So, you know, check through our videos. The best way to search videos is on YouTube because it actually has titles. The Facebook doesn't allow, even though we label it while we're working on it, you can't search it by any label. So it might be easier for you to just search on YouTube if you're looking for something specific. It's youtube.com/lovesolaflowers. So if you want to go on YouTube to be able to search our videos with like by title, that's the best way to do it. But obviously we do our lives here on Facebook. So obviously catch it live here and then you can do the rewatch in YouTube and that makes it easier. But also I want you guys, when you guys do these flowers and things, we'd love for you to share them after you watch the tutorial. We would love to see how you use them and see the ones that you created because, you know, that's the fun part for me. I love teaching. I really do love teaching. My mom was a teacher my whole life. And I think it's in our blood to teach. I love seeing you all succeed. I love seeing you all create things. But sometimes I know you're doing them because people tell me and reach out and saying the tutorials were helpful, but we want to see what you made with it too. So if you guys make irises, maybe even in different colors, let us see. But as you can see, this reminds me of the Rapunzel flower kind of. As you can see, the yellow in the center, purple on the outside. Again, the back side, I can't, unless this flower dries significantly, I'm not going to do the back petals because it'll make them too soft because both sides being wet kind of make them very, very loose. But obviously painting that is easy. You're just going to do it the same way, but I would wait till it's dry to do the back side. Tracy the Lilac is on YouTube, but it's on this Facebook page as well. If you scroll, you know, keep scrolling back. Okay, so now for the center. I told you that order is kind of important. Again, the order is important because you want things to be dry enough to be able to twist and turn your flower without ruining that yellow stripe. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna paint the insides of this center first with the purple because then I'm not stressed about it running into the yellow while it's kind of wet back there. So let me just do the insides first and then I'll come back and I'll do the outside. I'll see if the flower's dry enough to do the whole back side too. And if it is, I'll do that. But if it's not, I don't want to just ruin this one for no reason. So I'll wait till it's completely dry. And again, it's only got a little bit of water, but it does make it easier to spread as opposed to just straight up paint. It doesn't, you know, it takes a little bit of work when you're doing just straight up paint. So I do like to wet it just a little bit. But yeah, we had snow today, but my daughter said, oh, it's a good way to say goodbye to winter because at least I heard that tomorrow's the first day of spring. And I think today isn't today daylight savings? You know, we're so spoiled with daylight savings now because of our cell phones. They just do it naturally and automatically. And since I use that as my alarm clock, I don't even think about the time changes. But I believe tonight's daylight savings time. So I'm just gonna go in and make sure I'm getting all these white spots. Again, I feel like this color is called like Life is a Fairy Tale or something like that. It's Bear Brand. Bear Brand has super duper good coverage If you don't have a Home Depot local to you, you can go to a Lowe's and you can always use a different brand. I just stand by Bear as being the best coverage that I've gotten out of it. But everybody who practices with different kinds of paints, you know, get to know how much paint and how much water and stuff. So you could use other brands, but I do see people who have problems a lot with the craft paint because you do need a lot of it. People try to use it because they think it's cheaper, but in the end, sometimes it's more expensive because you need to use way more than you do with these little trial sizes of Bear. Yes, the time changes, but I just go with the flow because my phone tells me, and I don't really sleep a lot anyway. The horse industry lives for daylight saving. Really? Do you get to sleep in? Is that what it is? Do the horses get tricked? Okay, so I did the center. See, I did the center, but now I'm gonna do, oh, I just spilled. I get satin. I don't mind using, oops, I just did a drip because I spun it to show off. I don't like matte. So if anything, and I don't like eggshell. So if anything, you know, I would do semi-gloss or glossy. I was showing off my paint and I flipped it right onto it. But satin is my favorite because I use the glycerin. I used to use semi-gloss, but that was before glycerin days. Because probably the glycerin, I mean the stuff that makes it shiny probably is something like a glycerin. So I don't use the semi-gloss necessarily anymore because I use the glycerin, but I wouldn't go matte. I do like it to be a little bit dewy. Oh, because it's light out at night. I get it, Tracy. Yeah, well, we live for time change here too. I live just a few minutes from the ocean, you know, boardwalk and beach and everything. And we love the spring and the summer too because we can go out on the boardwalk really, really late and it's still bright out. So I did get a little purple in my yellow, but as you can see, I just went over because again, my yellow is not diluted. I just went right over it and you can't see it. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold my flower this way, okay? Because I wanna do the back side of these stamen thingies and I don't want it to drip into my yellow. So I'm gonna paint it while I'm holding it upside down. Okay. If it's easier for you to hand paint, some people I know like to hand paint when their flower is stemmed because they can get like a better grip on it, kinda. You can stem it as well first, but I like to hold on to it here. And again, I'm gonna keep it upside down just for a little bit because I don't want it to be uber drippy into my yellow. So I'm gonna make sure I hit all my little white spots here. When people ask me about like why I pick certain colors or how I pick certain colors, usually what I do is I take a picture of whatever I am looking to make and I take my phone with me, obviously, to the Home Depot. And I stretch it, you know, like you can touch your picture and you can stretch it. I stretch it out and I literally hold my phone next to the paint chips and I see which one matches. I saw Tracy, I saw your page actually. I saw the videos of the babies coming. My mother actually, I know people don't think of New Jersey as, you know, the first thing they don't think of is farms, but we actually, where I live, it's a weird kind of conglomeration. I live, you know, on the Jersey Shore, so we have the beach and everything, but we also actually have a lot of farms here. My mother actually works on a farm every day, and it's a petting zoo and a farm that's a nonprofit and helps children or adults with special needs, because that's always good for the animals. So it's fun to hear about everybody's areas. How about you guys? Where's everybody who's on tonight? Where are you all from? What's your weather like? Is it already springy where you're from? My brother actually moved close to the Orlando area in Florida, so he's always bragging about being able to swim during our snow time, but but it's okay. I do love New Jersey. I did grow up here, so it is my home. But the weather is pretty wonky, actually. The weather can be 70 one day and then like 40 the next day. That was this week, actually. Really, this week was hot with t-shirts and tank tops. And then the next day we brought out our winter coats again. So that's how weird it is. Now I'm just going to go over my yellow again if I feel like the edges were a little splotchy. Now I got yellow in my purple. Gonna go back and forth 100 times here. Okay. Ooh, Vicky, where do you live? I live in a city called Brick, Missouri. Oh, so yeah, you had snow too. I'm jealous of those people who are in their t-shirts. I really don't love the summer though. I really don't like hot weather. So it's not like I want to live somewhere where it's hot, but I do like the 70s. High 60s all the way up to 80s is my sweet spot for temperature. Obviously, if you're in the water, you're swimming in the summer, it's fine. Oh, Vicky, it's so close. We are so close. That's so fun. I always wonder if there's local people watching, because I would love to hang out with some people who are crafters. I always feel like I wish I had more people local that we could, you know, paint and do all this kind of stuff together. How about all of you? Do you have other local Sola people around you that you get together with and do fun stuff with? Because I feel like if I met another Sola person, like in one of the groups, I would love to like hang out, make stuff, so it's not lonely all day crafting. I do weddings pretty much all day, although I do like to do home decor every so often, especially for myself. I like to do my own wreaths because I hate to buy wreaths when I know that I could make them. So, all right, I'm just going over the yellow because I don't want it to be so see-through. You know what I mean? If you put only one layer of yellow, when you hold it up to the light, it kind of shines through. So Vicky, I was doing local classes actually at restaurants and things like that. But then COVID happened. So obviously I stopped during that time. Susan, you're in Dallas, Texas. That is exactly what we are like, Susan. It's like winter one day, summer the next day, spring the next day, back to rain. Florida. Treasure, where in Florida? My brother is in something called Winter Gardens. They are Disney fanatics, so they try to move close to Disney. Kansas, same thing. So who has the best weather? Like what states kind of have mild everything? Actually, where Sultan is and the warehouse is for Love, every time I visited, it's been really great weather. It's usually pretty mild. Even when he calls it cold, I feel like it's not cold at all. I think he's crazy. But that's near San Diego. So our office is near San Diego. And that weather is pretty mild. So you don't really have anything crazy. Too much there. You should do a workshop. Tracy, I do workshops. In fact, you know, we have been trying to think of a good timing for a retreat for Love Sola and us here in New Jersey. But we just want to make sure it's a good time. Let's see. Okeechobee. So your weather is nice there in Florida though, Treasure? Because here it was snowing and it was not fun. Well, Vicky, if you need help or if you want to come bring your supplies and work here with me for your daughter's wedding, you can do that. I don't mind while I'm making other weddings for you to sit here and make it with me. That would be fun. I don't really, like I said, really get a lot of local people who are doing them either for work or for weddings, because usually the weddings around here just hire me and I'm able to do their weddings for them. But I would love to know if there are do-yourself brides. Okay, I think I'm done. I was just trying to let it dry a little bit to see if I could do the back. Let me see. I'm gonna try to do the back. Okay, so I did the front. As you can see, did the front. Make sure my, did I have a white spot? Oh no, that's just a wet spot. It looks like a white spot when I hold it up here, but it's really just a wet spot, not a white spot. All right, I'm gonna try to do the back, but if you are nervous about these being too mushy because they're wet in the front, then don't do them. Wait till they're dry. But I'm gonna try to do it for the purpose of this video to show you what it looks like completed. I'm gonna try to just do this back petal real fast. And then I'll show you our finished product. Irises are a beautiful flower. Irises are a pretty common flower that's used in arrangements, bouquets, weddings. I really don't know where they, you know, grow naturally. I've never seen an iris just like in the wild. So I don't know what temperature they need or anything, but I do know that there's a real florist near me called Purple Iris, and I always think that's such a pretty name because it's such a pretty flower, but I don't know where they actually grow. Let's see. One more petal here. So the yellow, again, only goes on the outside petals, and the purple goes on all sides of every other petal, all the way up to the yellow. And again, the little bit of water really helps it spread much easier than if you didn't water it down at all. I do like these kind of brighter, bluier purples for irises. They tend to be, you know, more on the bluier side. You can touch up, again, I'm just touching up the yellow to make sure it's not so translucent that the purple shows through from the back side. But that should be about it. So here we go. Iris, you do. They grow in the summer. Okay. So irises are a warm weather flower. What? Tracy, I'm jealous. I've never seen an iris just hanging out. Like I said, we used to get a lot of crocuses, but not irises. We have iris growing in the ditches. That is crazy. Because I love irises. I would pick them and put them in my house all day long. Okay, so you could even do a little bit more bluier of a purple. Oops, I missed a spot. Because they do tend to be, you know, they're not mauve-y. They tend to be this bright. Now, I don't know what other colors irises all come in. I heard a lot of colors. I think last video, everyone was telling me all the different colors that they come in naturally. So if you have a white iris, if someone asks you for a white iris, how easy is that? All you have to do is make it. I don't know if they have the yellow things in it, but that would be super easy. You could even, if you really want to skip hand painting, if you dip them in purple and then let them dry completely, like dry, you can kind of cover it up with yellow if you do a few coats. That might be your easiest way, but then you got to retwist everything. So I don't know. I don't know what's easier. I mean, it didn't take me more than, you know, if I wasn't talking and chatting and all that kind of jazz. It wouldn't take me too long to paint it completely. But if you wanted to try the dipping, you could dip these in the purple and then come back with the straight yellow without, you know, watering down the yellow and do a couple layers over it. I wish I could get a good angle because of the things in the center. It's hard to see them, but if you had a whole bouquet or even just a couple of these in a bouquet, a wildflower bouquet, it would be so pretty. I want to make something with them for sure. I was looking forward to doing it. If you have any other flowers that you're looking for that you think we could maybe make out of another flower, let me know. That's kind of a fun challenge. I would like to try to do that too. Kansas has all kinds of colors. Oh, that's in spring. So in Kansas it's spring. Apparently in New Jersey it's more summer. So I guess it needs warm weather. But I hope you enjoyed, you know, making another flower out of another flower. Because again, sometimes we have to get creative here to get all the things that we need and want. But it really wasn't a big deal. It only takes 5 minutes to turn the peony into an iris, and then maybe 10 more minutes to paint it. So yeah, it's not a flower that's, you know, super quick, but again, you don't need an entire arrangement of these. I mean, that would be really pretty, and maybe I will make one like that just for fun. But a couple of these, just think about just a couple of these popped in a bouquet, like 3 of them. Always do odd numbers, never do even numbers, always an odd number. So let's say 3 or 5 of them in a whole bouquet, and that would be like super pretty. You can even just cluster a couple of them and it be a focal point in an arrangement. Usually if you want to bring attention to it, if you cluster them, like again, in odd numbers, like let's say 3 of them, and you have it in the, you never want to center, you always want to be off center in an arrangement, you can really bring attention to them without having to paint, you know, 20 of them. So I think that might be a cute idea. I'm going to save this one and probably paint the rest of mine tonight while I have my paint out, and then make something with them soon. Even on a wreath, that would be pretty, an Easter wreath or something too. So there is our iris. We are completed. We made it and we painted it, and now we're done. And if you do end up making irises, we would love to see yours in all the colors that you guys decide to do. And you can post those in our group, which is facebook.com/groups/lovesoloflowers. And you can get the peonies right now on sale on lovesoloflowers.com. And as well as your other things, supplies and all that kind of stuff, you could get all of that on sale without a coupon code right now. It is just shopping. Everything is already discounted. Check us out here. I am going to make a post in our group about notifications. I know some people were asking, saying that they weren't getting notified when we came on. So I'll show you guys how to do that. Again, but you could always see us on YouTube. Again, not live, but it's going to at least have the labels on them for easier searching. So, okay, everyone, have a great last few hours of winter, and happy spring tomorrow. And I hope you catch up on your sleep from daylight savings, and have a wonderful weekend. And we'll see you, we might actually see you tomorrow with another special video. If not, we'll at least see you next week. Okay, bye everyone.